border on Sunday. So you're looking at temperatures on Sunday, still Minneapolis to Green Bay in the 70s. The bulk of the rain, though, is going to be bullseyed right in Missouri, and that will be what comes in late tonight. So here's Sioux Falls, showers 66 degrees on Saturday, and then we're right back into the 80s Sunday and Monday for the long weekend. But heading down to the south, Dallas got in on some run-of-the-mill downpours throughout the day today. Nothing severe, but still got us some gusty winds, Steve.
Here they come from left to right over the screen from the Earth Cam as those rolled into town. Luckily, a lot of them lost their severe characteristics of damaging wind and any kind of hail potential, but still enough to put down some lightning and heavy downpours in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro earlier Friday. Looking at a waterspout here over Texas back on Friday, and Veneta, Oklahoma, early Friday morning was quite soaked. Some of the winds across the Sooner State were 55 to 70 miles an hour. Certainly enough, anything 50 miles an hour and stronger is enough to do some damage. Looking forward, a lot of the severe weather is winding down. We'll have a couple of pesky storms into early Saturday morning that stay on the stronger side. Otherwise, your Labor Day weekend will be characterized weather-wise by warm temperatures. We'll stop the clock into the wee hours of Saturday morning and just northeast of Dallas, Texas, southeast of Muskogee, Oklahoma. A couple of complexes of some thunderstorms slowly riding right along the border and bumping up against Arkansas. Low temperatures still quite toasty in Dallas at 77, Houston and Corpus Christi at 78. Those rain showers kind of lingering around in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro on Saturday morning. Cold front to the north of I-40 could spark a few isolated thunderstorms in northern Oklahoma, northern Arkansas on Saturday afternoon. The front's not enough to drag those cooler temperatures down to the south. A little bit cooler in Little Rock at 89, Oklahoma City at 86, compared to 95 in Brownsville. Front looks like it wants to come through on Sunday. It might sag a little bit to the south, but by and large, we're kind of wedged in an area of high pressure that keeps us hot for the holiday weekend. New Orleans at 89, Houston 98 for Sunday, San Angelo at 97, and Lubbock at 92. Lubbock up to 93 on Labor Day Monday, and 92 in Oklahoma City, 93 Little Rock. So that front lifts back up to the east and northeast. The rainfall over the next several days, not a lot coming our way. We actually could use it because we have some severe drought conditions in parts of the area, especially in Texas. For Little Rock, Arkansas, temperatures will be warming up this week for the beginning of September. You know, it is what we refer to as meteorological fall, but it'll be starting warm, and even Austin, Texas could hit 100 degrees on Labor Day. Now, we want you to download the Weather Nation app, not just because we want downloads, but it's free. You can get and click on your central regional forecast, which just aired, or on videos. So that way you don't have to necessarily wait as much for Dorian updates. Right on the app, it is free to download. And hey, coming up next on the TV edition right here, we are going to be taking weight as much for Dorian updates. Right on the app, it is free to download. And hey, coming up next on the TV edition right here, we are going to be taking
free purple pillow, the pillow that everyone is talking about. Don't wait, your budget stretches further at Mattress Firm. Mattress Firm's Labor Sale ends Monday. Get a king mattress for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin. It's our best deal of the season with savings of up to $600. Don't wait, your budget stretches further at Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's Labor Day sale. Friday through Monday, take an incredible 50% off a Beauty Rest mattress, now just $99.
Impressive update from the Hurricane Center. You can see here the infrared satellite imagery from Friday of Hurricane Dorian. Now a Category 4. The impressive eye wall is visible. It became visible earlier in the day on Friday, and it is still churning and possibly strengthening over open waters, headed towards the Bahamas and eventually Florida, but we'll keep you updated as it gets closer.
Now, one little good piece of good news right there in the satellite imagery right above Chelsea and myself. If you look on the southwestern side, you see how it kind of has gotten eaten away a little bit late Friday. There's some shear on the western side. The hurricane overall is still pretty small regarding the size of other hurricanes we've seen. So it can be affected by these kind of things. And it looks like that shear ate away at everything but the eye wall. So these little fluctuations can happen, but we're hoping that maybe that can limit how strong it can get.
Right, and there's also a high pressure to the north, and that's going to help kind of steer whether it goes all the way into Florida or rides the coast. So there's a lot of factors that will determine this forecast as we go forward in time.
Yeah, the intensity forecast of a tropical cyclone, one of the hardest things in meteorology to predict. Okay, brand new update. 30-mile-an-hour winds. This is as of the 11 o'clock Eastern time. Friday night advisory from the National Hurricane Center, 140-mile-an-hour winds. It began the day on Friday with about 100-mile-an-hour winds. So a really big day for Dorian. Now, based on the latest satellite imagery, it's moving into a little bit of shear. That might hold steady through the course of the night and into early on Saturday, but still moving 10 miles an hour more of a west-northwest wind direction. Right now, the shear is highest right about here, but it's moving in this direction, and there's really little shear right here. Now, shear is basically change in wind speed and or direction with height. Storms don't like that. Hurricanes don't like that. So since it's moving into an area with less shear, that is what we're going to be watching for some of the maybe intensification coming through the overnight. Hurricane warnings in effect for the northwest Bahamas. This is where really some rough and tough weather from Nassau to Freeport possible through the course of the weekend. And those hurricane conditions possible as early as Saturday night and into Sunday morning. Strong and dangerous storm surge, flash flooding there. So latest forecast cone, National Hurricane Center shows some fluctuations up to 150-mile-an-hour winds down to 145. Notice how the forecast cone on Monday night is right here near Freeport, Category 4, and then moving up toward Merritt Island and the Cape Canaveral area by Tuesday. This is Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, just offshore of eastern Florida. After that, it's a question as if it curves more out to sea or continues northwest into Florida. Outside of that picture, there are a lot of other factors, such as areas of high pressure that will try to steer the storm. So by Saturday night, those outer bands coming into the Bahamas. By Sunday morning, notice how it's still well offshore of Florida, but Sunday is when we'll really start to feel some of the first impacts across eastern Florida. That said, you have all day Saturday to get through those final preparations because as you can see by Sunday night, it's approaching the east coast of Florida. Right now, seas 15 to 25 feet in the core of the storm of Hurricane Dorian. Those 15-foot waves are going to be approaching the Bahamas this weekend quickly. Again, the winds, just to show you that wind forecast Sunday, rolls over the northwestern Bahamas, and then some of those tropical storm force winds arrive at the coast of Florida by Sunday night, and especially on Monday. So one more time with the cone, it depends where you are, where that forecast goes. After Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday, because there are quadrants of the storm. With a breakdown of what the worst part of the storm and different parts of the storm bring, here's Patrick Crawford.
We know that hurricanes can bring widespread damage as they move ashore. But did you know that different parts of the storm in relation to where they hit can mean different impacts? Let's explain. A mature hurricane can be broken down into 4 main quadrants, with the front right quadrant packing the fastest wind speeds, highest storm surge, and often indirect impacts like tornadoes. Here's why. As hurricanes churn counterclockwise, packing strong winds, the forward motion of a storm adds to the speed of the winds in the front right quadrant, making it the most destructive part of a hurricane. If this part of the storm hits close to you, most often the biggest concern is storm surge. The storm surge is caused as powerful winds push water ashore. This can lead to catastrophic flooding that can be deadly if proper measures are not taken before the storm hits. Pay attention to any and all alerts before and during a storm. This will allow you to be proactive in taking steps to be prepared. If evacuation orders are issued, heed them. Don't wait it out. If you choose to wait, it might be too late when conditions take a turn for the worst. For Weather Nation, I'm meteorologist Patrick Crawford.
Now, as this storm gets closer and closer to Florida, people still are preparing. And as Steve mentioned, going into our story there, that you still have time. You can see people boarding up their homes and getting ready. The lines for gas stations and for the grocery stores have been relatively long, so just have some patience over the next couple of days. So here are some of the key points that we're going to hone in on as we get this storm closer to Florida. President Trump had declared a federal emergency. That's going to allow extra resources like the National Guard to go into Florida if needed and help out if there is catastrophic damage. And we'll be watching for the emergency response plan to be implemented. Several days of hazard weather are likely as this storm moves in. Because it keeps slowing down and speeding up in its trajectory, we could have days where it just continues to dump several inches of water. Life-threatening storm surge. If you're in an evacuating zone, make sure you're heeding those warnings and listening to local officials. Mandatory evacuations are already in effect for the barrier islands beginning on Sunday, so we're likely to see more mandatory evacuations go into effect, but we'll be watching as the storm just continues to move in. And again, earliest wind forces of tropical storm nature could be as early as Sunday. But stay with us. We'll continue to bring you team coverage from Florida as the storm gets closer.
Pain, swelling, stiffness. When your hands hurt, you can't function. Until now. Introducing the new Copperfit compression gloves with sure grip technology to give you more power, more control, and more agility than ever. Our most advanced copper-infused compression fabric woven into an ultra-lightweight performance glove that fits like a second skin to support relief and recovery of sore muscles and painful joint stiffness. And new Sure Grip bands built in to provide a strong, non-slip grip for more power and control.
You need total control of your hands when you're doing anything with construction. Your hands are your livelihood. The Copperfit gloves are great. The grip is outstanding here with these different ribs. It makes my hand a lot more usable. It just feels like you're just ready to start the job.
The gloves have been a game changer for me. They help with flexibility and pain and soreness. They allow me to do my job even better.
Breathable wicking fabric with an open finger design for full range of motion, feel, and control.
They relieve my pain. When I grab something, I'm not in pain. The support or whatever magic these things do, I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter to me what it is. It works.
I get a lot of pain, and it can make it difficult to do the smallest thing. While I'm wearing this, I do not have any pain. I can use it on the keyboard. I can use my phone. I drive with it. I sleep with it. I love this glove.
The new CopperFit compression gloves with Sure Grip technology. Relief from painful muscle and joint soreness. Guaranteed or your money back. Call 1-800-378-1435. Or on the web at getcopperfitgloves.com for only $19.99. Order right now and your shipping is free.
I tried it, I use it, I know it works.
CopperFit gloves definitely just make my life better.
I've used CopperFit before. This has helped my hands so much. These things work.
Feel better with copper-infused compression. Ask for it by name. CopperFit compression gloves.
Before HelloFresh, the only thing I knew how to make was tater tots. This is something that we actually can do. Even someone like me can nail it.
I love being able to come home and just doing it real quick.
Join America's #1 meal kit at HelloFresh.com. Get $80 off plus free shipping with code TV80 during our Labor Day flash sale.
Welcome into Weather Nation. We've got you covered in all the tropical weather. Dorian, the impact of the Bahamas and Florida, all of that coming in this weekend. Remember, you can always get our weather on demand on the app. Many ways on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Pluto TV. We're going to have that. Just click on our top stories. For now, real quick, Western Regional Forecast. Let's update some folks what's going on in Seattle.
Right. I mean, we have some very dry conditions, so fire weather watches are in effect because it's so breezy, so hot, so dry, and the drought is still in excess in parts of the region. So let's get right to it. Here's where we have those fire weather watches. That is going to be for southern Idaho. The opportunity for fires to spread through the Labor Day weekend is elevated, meaning we have the conditions in place to fuel quick wildfires. So check out the winds, the max 24-hour winds so far throughout the day on Friday. Pocatello getting 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts, Missoula 44, even Seattle 10-mile-an-hour winds, Medford 25. So if there is an ember that gets picked up and put into dry brush, it will easily spread. So if you're going to be out camping, just take it easy, be mindful, because those watches are in effect through Sunday. As we take a look at the forecast, not a ton of rain is expected, but we will have some coastal showers, which is good for the drought. Seattle will have some spotty mist and some light rain as we go into Saturday morning, and then we have this boundary that's set up. Some very warm, some hot conditions are crashing in with some cooler air, which is going to fire a couple of storms off the Rockies. But otherwise, temperatures to start on Saturday mainly in the 50s, near 60 degrees, if not into the low 60s, like Boise at 60, Medford 61, same as Seattle and Portland. Some clouds will be rolling in, keeping us slightly cooler in Seattle, and down to Portland, maybe some light showers.